this is Bristlecone Pine. For the first time, you are actually hearing my voice. As I have remarked on the Discord, and now you are seeing it on YouTube, I am going to be doing a series about tracing the history of the XCOM organization from its inception to as far as we can go. And as you see, we are starting with the very beginning of the XCOM saga with the Bureau XCOM Declassified. After we have done this, assuming we prevail, I will be moving on to Enemy Within. We'll be doing a quite hard Enemy Within to justify continuing on to the Legacy chapter, then War of the Chosen. Since I am playing this on a Mac, and will likely continue to be playing this on a Mac, and because Chimera Squad right now is Windows only, I'm not sure we'll be able to do Chimera Squad. If we do Chimera Squad, then I will be trying to make that roleplay available too, and if by the time I get there, XCOM 3 has been released, we will be doing that as well. I intend for this to be a very roleplay-heavy campaign, so I will be submitting episodes, or uploading episodes as I do them, but also I will be willing to slow things down if the roleplay needs it to slow down because everybody's having lots of roleplays, but otherwise I can speed things up. I'm going to be trying to release daily, however, preferably about one mission per day, again, barring roleplays. As for the difficulty that I will be playing this campaign on, I am probably going to be playing on either Rookie or Squatty. I will solicit comments or suggestions for this in the Discord, but the reason why I'm thinking about doing this on one of the easier difficulty modes is that unlike the other XCOM games, which are turn-based tactical combat simulations, the Bureau is a real-time third-person shooter with tactical elements. And furthermore, the controls are a little bit clunky, especially with the system that I have. Since I am not otherwise very familiar with third-person shooters, I don't normally play them very often, I expect that my skills are going to be very much on the noobish side for playing the Bureau. So for this reason, easy difficulty on this, although I intend to make it much harder than the other XCOM games because the format is something I'm more familiar with and am more skilled at. Now, for character submissions. There are 4 classes of characters that you can play. The first of these is the support, which is what it sounds like. It's mainly a support class. It makes your other agents better. They heal people. They help people. They otherwise they can get people out or save people who are bleeding out. Secondly, there are reconnaissance, which are long-range combat. They have sniper rifles, but they also have abilities that they can use to. But they also have other related abilities that make them generally better for fighting at long range and doing tricky stuff. Then you have the engineers. The engineers are similar to the heavies and grenadiers that you may be familiar with in the other XCOM games, in that they are able to place turrets and otherwise arm up against the aliens. And then finally you have commandos, who are combat powerhouse secondary agents. Commandos have the ability to call in fire missions and other things that make that allow them to just add extra firepower to take down the aliens. As you can see, I have 8 character slots, not including William Carter, who is the main protagonist for, I'll give you a little bit of a spoiler, for most of the game. And I can take up to 8 other agents. I'm going to be reserving one spot for another surprise that comes in later. of a story-relevant character. But the other 7, I will be taking submissions from everybody else. Now, the way that submissions are going to work is that each player who wants to play a character can submit any number that they like. However, I want those players to rank their submissions. So first priority, second priority, third priority, etc. I will take all of the first priority submissions before I move on to a second priority, and I will take all of them before I move on to third priority, and so on. The only exception I will make to that is if I really need an agent of a particular class, in which case I may go on to lower priorities if all of the agents available in the higher priorities are not of the appropriate class. And I'm going to try and balance out the class use I have, although we will see exactly what I tend to prefer. As far as customization of your agents is concerned, the thing to remember is this is the early 1960s, and racism and especially sexism play a major role in the story of the Bureau. And as a consequence, in fitting with that, you can't play female agents. You're generally restricted in terms of what sort of ethnic or racial background you can have as well. But you can customize the color of the clothing that they are wearing. So, for example, you notice the changes in the color of his belt, and you can change the camo, etc. And of course, you can change their names. So let's make this agent our heroine of XCOM War of the Chosen that I like to play, Alessandra Stevens' great-grandfather. And yes, I will be submitting him to the campaign, although I will not necessarily be making him a commando. You can, of course, choose what class or specify what range, what possible list of classes you want your agent to possibly be. For the reason that I said earlier about possibly going to lower priority agents, if I need a particular class, being as versatile as you can will improve your chances of getting in, but I will accommodate your wishes as far as classes are concerned. And aside from that, you're welcome to submit any agents as you like. And of course, when I get to Enemy Within and subsequent games, you will be able to have more options as far as submitting characters as far as there goes as well. So, as Myron Falk will say, welcome to XCOM. And the first episode I plan on releasing 1 week from the upload of this video, and submissions do not close, but be sure to try to get your submissions in before I start needing your agents, for obvious reasons. Although the first mission does not involve any of the customizable agents, all 3 of the agents in the first mission are canon characters. So you'll have a little bit more time as well. And also, the big missions in this game are really long. So I may be breaking them up into multiple episodes too, as you may wish. Finally, although the Bureau does not allow you to actually play agents that are female or that are not Americans, because at this time, XCOM is not an international coalition. It is an organism of the United States government. You can, of course, role-play characters who are female or who are not Americans, or who are even aliens, depending on if you're creative enough. So, until then,